Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Can you see my screen? Yeah. Okay. Just before I continue, Emmanuel, you're raising your hands up. Is there anything you want to say? Okay. I'm going to assume there's a mistake. All right. Let's go ahead. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Um, Yeah, so welcome to like ML Lagos like study group session. This is going to be an onboarding session. Basically, it's just like tell you people about what the study group is all about and kind of like educate you on how we'll be going about it and what's like basically the modulus operandi of like what the program is going to be all about, right? Yeah. Some ground rules before I start like speaking today. Please, as much as possible, let's try to like be respectful to everyone in this session, in the chat and all of that. Basically, want to encourage collaboration, not necessarily kind of like isolate people in the community. Yeah. So feel free to say whatever you want. At the same time, please be respectful and considerate of others. Keep your mic muted unless you're speaking or asking a question. And before you do that, obviously raise up your hand so we can call you up to speak. Engage actively by sharing your thoughts, question in chat. We'd love to hear you. Also like let's try as much as possible to like I'll say not speak over each other, right? So speak raise your hand before you speak and all of that. We would call you and let you know. Feel free to ask questions during the QA segment. There's going to be a QA segment. So in general, if you have questions and not necessarily anything so urgent, you can just like wait to the QA section and would like give everybody time to like speak and ask their questions. And most importantly, have fun and enjoy the session, right? Yeah. Okay. So our agenda today is not a lot. We don't have a lot of things in our hand, and I think most likely this meeting will be as short as possible, except the QA session. I think QA session elongates it as much as increases the like length of of the session. Yeah. Yeah. So we want to just like go over what the program overview is. We'll meet. I'll speak about a couple of our track mentors. Talk about resources and our communication channels and all of that, right? Then we'll have a QA this thing to just like wrap it up, right? Yeah. Yeah. I think before I start, I think I missed this in my slide. I should kind of like give a sort of introduction before I continue. Oluwatosin Olajide. Yeah, I'm one of the core members of ML Lagos, and along with a couple of my members who will be introducing themselves on the channel too. We are the ones facilitating the study groups for in the community, right? So just before I go ahead, sorry. Um, let me also like call up my I'll say like colleagues, yeah, to speak up. So Davia on the call, please can you just like speak up, introduce yourself? Yeah. Uh Ade is Ade here? Okay. It seems it's not here. I'm just going to like go ahead. Hopefully before the end of the call we'll be able to like get the introduction done and all of that, right? Yeah. So what is like the study group all about? Basically the study group is a 3 months long initiative and it's basically designed to help participants learn about topics of interest to them and in a focused and collaborative way, yeah, right? And I think one important thing to notice is that this is not a boot camp. Yeah, it's more of like a learning stage. So we have like things highlighted for you, but we won't be teaching you. You get, so it's not something where we would sit you down like your traditional boot camp and all of that and kind of like teach you about things and all of that, right? It's more of like learn on your own and we're just like here to assist you with your learning and all of that, right? Yeah. And this program will be happening like twice a year. This is the first quarter of the year, and the second one will be happening later in the year. More information will come out about that um, after this course is done, right? Yeah. Participants will be meeting with their mentors every fortnight. That's like bi-weekly. So every 14 days or so on Saturdays, they would meet with their mentor to speak about what they learned, discuss what they learned, anything they don't understand, they ask question, and the mentor will just kind of like give them like couple of, let's say, like hidden facts or facts that are not like obvious to them, or things that were like not obvious to them while they were like making their lens and all of that, right? And if possible, so in some cases the mentor might also like recommend some other resources they could go through and all of that, right? So basically the mentor is just like here to be sure that you are on the right track and you are not like kind of like left behind, or you have not deviated from what you're supposed to be doing or something like that. Yeah. So yeah, the program starts on Monday. So today is 1st of February. The program will start in like on the 3rd of February. So that'll be like the first day of the 3 months we'll be moving along with. So we're expected to be doing this thing for like the whole of February, March and April, right? So at the end of April we'll be rounding up with this first quarter of the program. Yeah. We'll be starting on Monday, and your first bi-weekly meeting with your mentors will most likely happen on the 15th, right? Yeah. There are 5 tracks for this program. Most of us here will probably have accepted into like one of those 5 tracks. There is ML basics to teach the foundational concept and algorithms in ML. Things like your types of like types of machine learning, supervised machine learning, non-supervised machine learning, the concept of train tests and all of that, right? You would be taught all of that in the ML basics, and yeah. And MLOps is basically like your tooling and practice for like deploying and managing models in production and all of that. That will be taught in the MLOps. Cloud ML will be basically to oh sorry, there are a couple of mistakes on my slide. Yeah, sorry. Cloud ML will basically be how you can leverage like cloud technologies from like major providers, Google Cloud, Azure, and AWS to kind of like build ML solutions and kind of like manage them, right? ML maths is basically talking about like the mathematics like underpinning like a lot of your algorithms in like machine learning. We'll be studying a lot of like maths, but maths related to like machine learning. You get, I'm just like going wide on maths. You get, so just like make sure that you have that kind of like very, very foundational knowledge and very, very, I say low level knowledge of like what goes on in each of these algorithms and all of that, right? And finally, deep learning. Yeah, you're talking about your neural networks and your advanced architectures and all of that. We'll cover a lot of things from your CNNs, all of that. Yeah, so everything you need to get started, understand like I'll say like a lot of like the modern architectures will be discussed and all of that in your deep learning, right? Yeah. So that's about it for like what these tracks are about. Yeah, and yeah, a couple of things to us as we're going forward, like expectations. Yeah, during the course of the program, right, we want to show enthusiasm and dedication to the program as much as possible, right? We understand that this is not a this is a self kind of thing. You get, everybody is learning on their. I'll say I'll say everybody's learning with others, right? But no one is coming to like teach you. You get, so as much as possible, we want to see that enthusiasm in everybody, where everybody's like able to like is excited and all of that to learn on their own and all of that, right? And if they are stuck or they have questions, like there's always someone there to help them out, right? So dedication and also like dedication to like the program and all of that, right? We would like to see it in everybody. Attend your knowledge sharing sessions bi-weekly, right? I think it's like really important here. At the end of the day, we decided to like not make it every week, so we expect that at least every 2 weeks you're able to like make time out to attend that one session. You get, because the real to be honest about it, right? If you miss that session, like everything, or let's say your questions for like the past 2 weeks or so may not be addressed properly again, right? Of course, you can always like ask those questions on the on the WhatsApp chats you're in and all of that, right? But if you really want like someone to like discuss it with you, right, they probably would not be another chance like kind of like discuss that topic again, because the whole track will be moving on to like the next topic in the curriculum as time goes and all of that, right? Also, come prepared to the meetings with your questions, and this is like very important, right? And you can't have questions if you have not learned, if you have not tried to like learn on your own or all of that, right? So this is quite important. Come prepared for your meetings, come to your questions, be teachable, be respectful, be proactive and open to learning, right? Try to do research on your own. As I said earlier, nobody's coming here to like sit you down to learn, nobody's coming here to spoon feed you. So if you are asking questions, we don't want to see questions that are about like the very things that you should have read. You get, for example, I don't want to be you don't want to come be in the deep learning track, and let's say like in the first course, your this is intro to like neural networks, and coming to the call to ask what is neural networks, right? That's not a question that we are going to be expecting you to ask. You get. So if you have questions to talk about, let's say like someone should come and explain a bit more about back propagation, how neural networks learn and all of that, right? That's a more sensible question to ask, right? Than just coming to ask like what's neural network. It shows that at least you've understood like neural network in itself and all of that, right? So yeah, please, as much as possible, be proactive, open to learning, respectful and teachable. Also, as I said, I think I mentioned this earlier, right? But I think if I didn't mention it, we have like curriculums prepared for each of the tracks, right? And there are resources attached to those curriculums, right? Go through those resources, use those resources as provided. If after you decide that you want to go through some other resources, that's like really, really fine. But as much as possible, it's important to like go through those resources provided, right? And try as much as possible to understand it. Any questions you have on it, you can come on later to ask your track mentor, and the person would be really happy to help. Yeah. Also, yeah, as much as possible, this is collaborative, right? We want you to network, we want you to meet new people, learn together. It's okay to meet up with your friends and all of that, right? And kind of like create like mini study. I feel like mini study this thing, so like you guys can come together on a call. You get so like let's say you guys are busy and all of that, yeah, but you don't want to like miss out on everything. It's okay to kind of like meet with 3 people or so, and I say that every week or every day we spend 2 hours together on a call discussing and learning this thing together, right? So it's also help you like in your own way, kind of like meet long I'll say like life collaborators, people that you can always like collaborate with once you leave the program and all of that, right? And also make sure that you're not left behind in the program, right? So network, meet new people, yeah. And I think this last one is more of like I'll say like optional. It's not necessarily compulsory, but we want you to like work on a project that shows that a project, or even it's an article or something like that, right? Work on something that kind of like showcase that I've gone through the program, right? That I have learned something from the program and all of that, right? We'll be looking forward to this kind of like collect this kind of like add to our GitHub page so everyone can kind of like see your project and all of that, right? This is quite like I'll say it's like it's optional, but it's something I'll say that is really important to do because what's the essence of going through a program if you don't have some sort of I would say um some sort of evidence, right, that you've learned something and all of that, right? So that's why I think it's like really important for you to um go and work on a project, right? That talks about what you've learned and all of that, right? Just to be clear, I'm still audible, right? And everybody's still following along.
Yeah,
Yeah. All
clear.
right. Okay. All right. Thank you. Yeah. So a couple of more things, as I said, program guidelines, be patient, be friendly. When someone asks a question on the WhatsApp groups and all of that, we don't want you to be condescending with your response. We know that the process of learning is not necessarily the I was like the most convenient one. You get at times it can be embarrassing because like you really don't understand something and everybody else understands it, right? Ask your questions on the group and all of that, right? And nobody should be condescending with your response. Don't be You should know this thing, of course. We're all here to learn and all of that, right? So it's something that we should be watchful of. Answer your questions with respect. Harassment and threats are not acceptable, and this is like I was like part of like the ethos of the community, right? We don't want anybody to like be harassed or threatened or whatever, right? This is a community. We are here to foster collaboration and all of that. We are not about to isolate anybody, right? Yeah. So harassment and threats are not acceptable. Bigotry is unacceptable too. Yeah. And if you are in a position to assist someone, please do, right? So yeah, basically just like be human. I think everything here just like comes to the fact of be human. You get know that um people have faults and all of that, yeah. And yeah, basically don't be I'll say aggressive or inconsiderate of others. Yeah. Yeah. So before I go on, I'll just like to like speak yeah, the next listeners speak about like the mentors and all of that, right? So like we have a couple of mentors who have volunteered. We're still having some like mentors that were having like I'll say locked in, if that's the word to use, right? But all of that will be communicated before the start of the program, and every track will like get their mentors before Monday. Yeah. So So these are the mentors we have. We have Einstein. Einstein is an AI researcher with a strong background in data science and analytics. He's passionate about drive AI-driven solutions through research and innovation. He holds a bachelor's degree in software engineering from Babcock and a master's degree in data science and analytics from Royal Holloway, University of London, where he graduated with a distinction. His research focuses on applications in AI and healthcare. He's currently an AI research assistant at Royal Holloway, and in addition to his academic research, he also like works with the team at Retro Cloud here, where he develops like transformative technologies for identification of like artificial intelligence and business intelligence, right? Um, I would say like Einstein is like one solid person, and I don't know if anybody here was like was one of the people that participated in the boot camp that happened during the like Nigerian elections, right? Sometimes I think it was like, when was that again? Yeah, 2023, right? Yeah, 2023. There was this like GDSC bootcamp that happened like all over like Nigeria at that particular time. It was one of the facilitators for the ML track, right? So this is somebody that has experience with community and also has experience with ML itself, right? So I'm sure that he's able to like answer your questions and also like able to like help you out with whatever problems you have. He would be taking the ML basics track, right? So for the ML basics, this will be your mentor. Yeah. Um, Next on our list is Fatima Adibanjo. Fatima is the case data scientist specializing in the applications of machine applications of theoretical maths and artificial intelligence. Our expertise include data cleaning, visualization, prediction, comprehensive model development from training to inference. With experience as an independent researcher, Fatima develops and implements machine learning models to drive innovation and solve complex problems. She actively engages in professional networks such as GBG Analytics, Data Science Network, C4AI, Unify AI, ML Collective, IG for Circle, for mentorship and collaboration. Beyond her professional work, Fatima is passionate about volunteering, writing, mentoring, and aspiring data science and all of that, right? And I think Fatima is I would say like one of the few people I would say that is like very invested in like the math side of like AI and all of that, right? And yeah, she's a guide of like mathematics actually. Yeah. So I know that she's like in a very good position to kind of like help out with like understanding maths and all of that, right? Yeah, she's a well-known researcher. I'll say like a well-known researcher in ML Collective. Yeah, one of the people in ML Collective. You probably like know her. She's like a very well-known researcher there and has done a lot of like I'll say like very theoretical ML work. Yeah, so she will be in charge of the ML maths community, right? And she'll be there to like help anyone. Yeah. Finally, our last mentor for now, it would be Madia Oduwole. Madia Oduwole is also like an ML researcher at ML Collective, with strong focus on multilingual NLP and ML efficiency. Our current interest, sorry, our current interests revolve around like making language technologies accessible to underserved communities, particularly in the global south, who are often underrepresented and lack access to resources, right? These shapes are projects including exploration of model compression techniques for LLMs, using quantization, pruning, knowledge distillation to ensure that these models are efficient and scalable. Our work currently includes development of multimodal and multilingual data sets and model benchmark for African languages, combining vision models with multilingual text decoders, as well as pioneering efforts in real-time sign language translation to bridge the communication gap for the hearing impaired community in sub-Saharan Africa. Yeah, so Madia Adewale is now like a very well-known researcher in the ML Collective, and I think she has a like large caliber of like research work and all of that, right? I couldn't think of like a more better person to kind of like leads the deep learning community than us, so she'll be in charge of the deep learning community, deep learning track, right? And I think she has like a lot in store for like anyone in the deep learning looking to like learn deep learning and all of that, right? Yeah. So yeah, I look forward to like her. I'll say like her teaching the deep learning track a lot. Yeah. So that's about it for now, right? For the two remaining like tracks, MLOps and Cloud ML, your men- yeah.
It's not there. That's what I'm
Uh,
saying. I think
sorry,
it's
Sorry, can we
I
mute?
don't
Can we
okay,
mute
it's on
still
YouTube.
if you're not like, yeah, please. All right. Yeah. So for the cloud ML and MLOps community, your mentors will be communicated to you before Monday and all of that. You would get them on your group chat. And yeah, so everybody would have their mentor in time. And as I said, also like the first session with your mentor would be on Saturday, the 15th of February, right? Yeah, so please let's get ready for that. So as soon as Monday starts going through the curriculum and all of that, right? So and yeah, the resources, like, where do you get the curriculum? You must have been hearing me saying like curriculum this, curriculum that, and all of that, right? So we have a machine in learning, I'll say like organization on GitHub, right? And there we have like a repo where you can kind of like access everything you need to know, access everything about like ML Lagos in general. If you go to this study groups folder there, you'll see a markdown with the name of your track. That's basically going to be your curriculum. The resources are attached, there are YouTube videos attached to it, right? So YouTube videos are attached to it. It is organized by for each 2 weeks, like sprints will be going on, right? So there's an objective for this sprint and a list of things you have to cover along with a video that teaches those resources to you and all of that, right? So yeah, this is the link to the GitHub repo. Yeah, everybody can just like access to it and all that. I would also like drop the links on the group chats so everybody can go and start like as soon on Monday and start like learning whatever they need to learn and all of that, right? If there are other things that are concerning to you, there are different ways you can kind of like communicate it. For example, if you need to like pass something on to like the leadership of the community and all of that, probably a feedback, something you're not comfortable with, ways to improve and all of that, right? You can email machinelearninglagos@gmail.com. That's the email of the community. Also, we the facilitators, we the ones facilitating the study groups in general, right? That's my colleagues. We're also like admins on each of your group chats. These are our numbers and our names. Oluwatosin Olajide. My other colleagues are Favor Oyewumi, Oluwakaya Alafide, and these are their numbers there and all of that. If you need to reach out to any of us, we are admins on all the group chats you get, so you can just like click on answer and tell something. If there's anything, anybody bothering you, any problem you're having, yeah, just like hit us up and we'll be happy to help. Finally, like if you need to like communicate about your learnings, all of that, yeah, your WhatsApp channels are like open for you, right? We want you to be active on those channels, discuss. I would love it if every time you go through a particular resource or something like that, you kind of like give a summary of what you've learned on the group. It will be a very nice thing to do, right? It will encourage others to learn and also help others and also help others that don't understand what they watch, also like help them out. Also, you can ask your questions on the group. Your mentors are also going to be on the groups with you people. So while you're like waiting for like your fortnight thing, you can also like quickly answer some of your questions there and all of that, right? Yeah. So yeah, that's about it. We're down to like the QA section now, right? If you have any questions and answer, like now is the time to kind of like come up with it. Yeah. So I would be yeah. Okay. A couple of questions. Come in. Yeah. Um. Yeah. The curriculum link will be shared to the group chat and all of that, right? Yeah. For the curriculums that are not there yet, they will be there before the commencement of the program on Monday. Someone says, how do I join the WhatsApp group chat? I'm assuming that everybody that is here currently has been able to has gotten an email yeah, informing them about the acceptance into the study groups, right? In the acceptance to the study groups email you would get the WhatsApp link to the WhatsApp channel to you are accepted into there. So you can go back and check your email. Yeah. Is there any other question? Anybody wants to like raise their hand to ask a question or something? Yeah, go ahead, Ella.
Hello, good afternoon. So, I'm part of the MLOps track, and I remember when you started the session, you mentioned that you were encouraging us to partake in projects. Is it like after the whole 3 months we should partake in a project, or as we are learning, we are advised to partake in a project? And also, as I was looking through the repo, the part on project, I couldn't really see any projects that are related to MLOps.
Yeah, so for the project, right, would give some ideas towards the end of the program on project review. So that's particular report will be updated, right? It's important to know that first of all, like those that repo is not like a static repo, right? It's going to be constantly updated from the resources and all of that, right? So I'll say that's like your ground source of truth. You get, so you can check back on that. I'm sure like the project team has like something cooking for like MLOps people and all of that, right? And yeah, about the time you should like be looking to like work on the project and all of that, right? I feel depending on how best you learn, you can decide to like work on mini projects, like small projects in between your learnings and all of that, right? But I think ideally what we want to see exactly is your final project, which is I'll say like a proper like project, right? A proper and well-defined project that kind of like covers everything you've been taught throughout the program. So I believe that the project you are looking at would be after the program, you get. But feel free also, if the best way you learn is to work on projects and all of that, right, feel free to kind of like be working on something as you are learning. Yeah, is there another question? Okay, you said the repo for MLOps to start updating part time. Oh, what I mean is that so currently, right, if you go to the repo that was sent to you, you'll see that there are resources for three tracks. Yeah, MLOps, the track for MLOps is there already. You get, so you can start learning as soon as possible. Right, can start going through the video. Right, everything is kind of like organized for you per um per sprint, right? When I mean sprint, I mean like bi-weekly, every 2 weeks you get. So over the next 3 months, we'll be having like meetings every 2 weeks. So we're expected to have about, let's say, like 6 meetings, right? Your first meeting is on the 15th, right? So there is the first this thing that's like, I'll say your first sprint is also like recorded there. So you get, so you can start learning for that sprint as soon as possible. Yeah. Ella, you want to seal up? Is there anything you want to ask? Okay. Yeah. Any other questions? Please feel free to talk. We're here to help you out and make sure that you can learn as much as possible during this program. Yet we don't want anybody to be left behind and we want everybody to like participate here. Fruits, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, John. The so we are supposed to start with MLOps basics, have we?
So everybody was accepted into a track, right? You get, it's all about going to your track and kind of like picking out your curriculum and just like learning. You get, everybody was accepted into a track already. You get.
Okay. I mean the machine learning basics, is that what MLOps is?
No, okay. So machine learning basics, your track is also like, that's a different track. It's not MLOps. So as I said earlier, there are 5 tracks. There's Cloud ML, there's MLOps, there's ML basics, there's ML maths, and there's deep learning. Yeah, those are the 5 tracks we have. You are accepted into ML basics. In some time, there will be a markdown file that's kind of like your curriculum on the repository, right? What you have to do is just go through that this thing, look at um what I'll say sprints, yeah. So what week you are in, and kind of just like take that week and learn what you have for that week ahead of Saturday, so you can discuss with your track mentor. Do you get?
Yeah, but I can't see it's not here at the moment. It's what you're
Yeah, it's
saying,
not
but
yet.
they will
It
be
will be
one
there
to
before.
do.
It will be there before Monday.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Um, we're here to answer your question. So if you have any other question, like I think we should answer. Like, yeah, speak up. We're here to answer you. Yeah. Okay. Um, if we have no other questions, right? I think we can just like always like continue on. Okay. Peter, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much so far. For the maths, ML maths track, like what kind of projects are they going to work on? Like, are we going to like, build algorithms or something? Or we just
Um,
solve maths or no? I don't know.
yeah.
How are we going to
Okay.
contribute to the report?
Okay. So I think I mentioned earlier that maybe like projects is not like the only way to kind of like do it here. Maybe another way to do is just like write an article about it, right? Pick a research paper a random research paper out there and go through the maths of the research paper, and just write an article about it. You can do some like very fundamental papers like patch normalization and all of that, right? So it does not necessarily have to be like a coding project or something like that. And not like be you walking through in maths or something like that and all of that. Okay, so just do something to show that yeah, I went through this program. Yeah. Did you get that? Is Peter there? Oh, I think he dropped off. Yeah. Anyway, this meeting was recorded, so they would also like in some minutes after like this call has ended, you would get everything on the channel, right? So you get the link to this meeting if you want to come back and watch the onboarding session again in case you missed one or two things, right? Yeah. Before we finalize, my colleagues are here. Oyewumi Favor and Alafide Olukayode. Please can you just like speak unmute yourself to like introduce yourself. Yeah.
Okay, good day, everybody. My, my name is Alafia Mukade. I'm one of the. What am I? Okay, can everyone hear me? I'm audible.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so we are one of the. Should I say facilitators? It's facilitators, the right word to this.
I think that's a good word. Yeah.
Okay, so we are one of the facilitators of the ML study group. So Tosin has already briefed you guys on almost everything. So we are going to have projects at the end of the course to show that what do you call it? To show that you've worked on something. Worked on something. I'm not really sure what to say, to be honest. But
It's okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Favor, you can just like unmute and speak up here.
Yeah, hello everyone. Good evening. My name is Favor. Uh, um, I'm one of facilitators. I'm one of the facilitators for ML study groups, and I look forward to speaking to a lot of you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Favor. Thank you, Alafiade. Yeah. Once again, three of us are like admins on all the channels for the study groups. So ML Basics, all of that. We are ML Basics, Deep Learning, Cloud ML, deep learning and ML maths, right? We're out there. So if you need anything, something is happening in the program I'm not comfortable with, this, that, all of that, please just like reach out to us, right? If you have your questions about what you are learning, things you don't understand, feel free to drop them on the group. Someone, I think someone among you would answer that, and if someone among can't answer that, your your track mentors will also be there to answer. Yeah. Abdulaziz, please ask your question. Yeah. Abdulaziz, are you there?
I'm with you. Good afternoon. Good evening, everybody.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, I want to confirm. Is it possible for one person to be involved in two tracks?
No, no. So
Okay.
that's I think one thing if you notice that everyone who got like who applied for two tracks were only accepted for the first one they applied to, right? And that's like that's like something we like paid attention to and like made decision about, right? Is intentional basically. Yeah. So we can't participate in two tracks as much as possible. We want people to be able to like focus and learn what you're learning. The truth is that these tracks, yeah, are just like running for like 3 months. You get, and some of the tracks, to be very honest, you need like focus and a lot more time to like kind of like master it. You get, so as much as possible, we want people to focus on one track and kind of like learn that track properly. You get, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
All right, yeah. Yeah. Any other question? Yeah. If there are no other questions, I think we can just like round up to this session, right? As I said, also the link to the recording will be available to everybody some minutes after the call has ended. You get, yeah. Yeah, so have a nice day, everyone. Thank you for joining, and we look forward to you guys completing the program and going on to do great things, right? Yeah. Thank you very much.